imagine what those 6 weeks would have been like if I had no communication with my family, and what it would have been like for them if they had no communication with me, because at that time we're in the middle of the second wave. Hospitals were not allowing visitors, and I think even if they were allowing visitors, the COVID unit was not allowed to have visitors. People, doctors and nurses were covered in PPE, and it's just you and the same people every day. Nurses would change shifts and stuff, but you're seeing the same group of people for 6 weeks, and you don't know how your parents are. You don't know if they are coping. They don't know how you are. All they are hearing is it's either she's recovering from the medication, she's the same as yesterday, she's doing well, which is something that they are hearing telephonically. So I'm really grateful for those social workers. They were tasked to basically keep us in contact with our families. So they would come in either twice in the day in the morning, and then later in the afternoon, or once a day depending on how many patients they need to see. Then they would make us video call our parents and our families. So I think that in itself, because whenever I video called my parents, and I could tell that these people are trying to be strong. I could see my mom's eyes. Girl has been like going through the most, but without fail, every time they called me, they spoke life, and they would pray for me, and they were always smiling. And I'm like, how are these people smiling when their daughter is facing a life-threatening situation, you know? And the first couple of times before I was extubated, I had this thing in my mouth, so I couldn't even say anything to them. I could just wave and say I love you. There's a point where the social worker would hold the phone for me so that I could pray, tell them to continue praying, I love you, like make a little heart. Guys, like, yeah, that was rough. That was a rough time, and I know that it wasn't easy for them. Like Shema because I can still see the pain in them now when they tell me their experiences. How much more when they were still, you know? And the nurses prayed for me a lot. Like I once tweeted that my nurses were specifically chosen by God. They would rotate shifts, but somehow I still had the same type of nurse for, I would say, 80% of the time. Obviously, you will get those one or two who are, yeah, let's just focus on the good ones. They would pray for me. They would hold my hand and speak life. They would put their hands on my chest and speak life. They would tell me that you need to fight to get out of here. Your parents miss you. My sister finally would call literally every day to get an update. And one of those nurses who needs prayer was like, her condition's not going to change overnight. You don't need to call every night. She's still the same as yesterday. Hi, Boanja. Can you, like, that is not how you speak to a family member of someone who's in a paying institution. And not to say that even if it was in a public institution, you have the right to say that. Where is your humanity? You don't know the fact that is this person in a good mental state. Like, you can't just lash out at a family that is trying to find out how their daughter is doing. Rather say, all right, ufana naizolo sizodlulisa umlayezo, or we'll pass on the message, she's still the same as yesterday, bye ma'am. There's no need for you to, that girl. And my friends, I think my friends got the message from my parents, from my mom. So one of my friends is like, sister Spanbani, asimkhohlwanga, siyamfuna. Like, there's just no need to be rude. And if you look at my situation, I'm sure there are people who are in worse of situations, but that's not the point. My parents were in KZN. There was no way they were going to leave KZN and come to Gauteng to do what, because it's not like they can come see me in the hospital. One. Two, they don't know how long I'm going to be in the hospital. So they are going to come stay in my apartment and not go back to work for how long? Like, so, and my doctor knew that, you know. So when they call my doctor gives them updates. But when they call the landline and then you get nurses who just want to behave as if they're running the show. No, it doesn't work like that. And that's why I'm eternally grateful for the ones who continuously and tirelessly showed Ubuntu, and they showed that they understand where your parents are coming from, they understand where your sister is coming from. So they would come and say, Spare, ufanele called, or Spare, your sister called. She says they love you. She says they are praying for you and they can't wait to have you back home. That's it. Even if when you feel like this family if jalo, nah bruh, like fix your heart. I'll do another video about my ups and downs and my embarrassing moments. In fact, there are quite a few questions that I've received from you guys, either on my WhatsApp or my Twitter or my Instagram. So I'm gonna collect all of those questions and I'll request that you send more, and I'll do a Q&A in case there's something that I haven't covered in this video that I can cover then. There was one particular day that stands out where I basically negotiated with God, and it's a day where they mabengela and they are telling me how I scared them. It's the day where I was hyperventilating for whatever reason, and I was in my sleep and I started hyperventilating in my sleep, and I lapho bengivayasham. That day I was at heaven's door like this, knocking, and when I told my parents, I'm like, the devil was like, nang khogaso er kai oza girl bayekele, they'll be fine without you. That day I don't know what happened. One, I don't know what triggered me hyperventilating and me not wanting to breathe, and the nurses around me were like, Spare, you need to breathe, you need to close your mouth, breathe through your nose, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Spare, your saturation is dropping, you need to breathe. Spare, you need to breathe. Now I've been extubated and I'm fine. I don't need the ventilator now. But me, I almost drove myself back into the ventilator and one of the nurses says it hurts them when they see a patient who's on her road to, or his road to recovery, and they're doing well, but something happens and then they regress and then they find themselves back in a ventilator. And she says the chances of you coming out of a ventilator after going back the second time are very slim. So you need to fight by all means to stay out, to just focus and push forward and make sure that you recover and you get out of ICU. I get that day, girl is not breathing or the lungs are not doing the things. And in hindsight, I realized how powerful one word or two words of faith are. Because I remember asking God in my heart, Lord, should I just stop trying? Is this how my life ends? Because it felt like a movie, you know, because my eyes were shut and I'm hearing all of these voices. Some are shouting, listen to me, you need to breathe, close your mouth. Because I think at some point I was doing and obviously that is not proper breathing. You're going to die if you breathe like that. Close your mouth, breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. So I'm hearing all of these people literally begging me to breathe, and I felt like I am breathing. I felt like I am doing my best, and I've got people around me telling me, girl, you need to breathe. Someone even asked me, do you have a child? And I'm like, and I was communicating with them through moving my head, because my mouth is like, whoa, what a mess of a day, yo. What a mess of a day that was. Someone told me, do you have a child? I'm like, no. Do it for your parents. You need to breathe for your parents. You can't do this. Don't I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm in my mind and my heart, and I'm like, okay, God, I've been trying to breathe. And for dear life, God knows, you know, I'm trying. So, God, between me and you, should I just like surrender and stop these games now? Because I feel like I'm trying and it seems my efforts are not enough.